YouTube frogs, welcome back to a banner breakdown video. You'll notice that my Twitch frogs are not here on the left as they usually are because unfortunately this video is being recorded off stream. Maybe next time. 2.5 second half complete banners have been announced for Raiden and Kokomi's rerun, and with Yae Miko's release just passing, we are rounding out the Electrocharge focused Inazuma characters. We also have the return of the coveted Engulfing Lightning signature Raiden Shogun weapon alongside Kokomi's signature donut. Let's dive into my quick thoughts on these banners. Alright, so first up we have Raiden Shogun, and we have Kokomi's rerun banners. The 4 stars are identical for either banner, should you decide to pull. We have the double buffers, Bennett and Sara, alongside Rock and Roll Xinyan. Xinyan is kind of an oddball synergistically with these characters and the main focus of these banners, and those who main Xinyan likely will already have her C6, so not really much to say about her. Bennett, all constellations are viable. Players typically stop at C6 due to destroyed synergies at that constellation. Veteran players, C5 or C6 doesn't really matter, depends on your use case. For those of you who've been living under a rock, my Bennett has been Constellation 6 for over a year and 2 months. I have made content with it in the past. It's literally not a big deal. However, if you are F2P budget, I would suggest not doing it. I only do this because I have access to literally everything in the game, so it doesn't really matter. So for most situations, Constellation 5 Bennett is a lot more versatile, and it doesn't encounter the pyro locked problems C6 Bennett unfortunately has for the usual buffing team comps. For Sara, we have Constellations 2 and 6 being the most valuable, with Constellation 2 removing the clunkiness of her charge shot and enabling her buff on just tap elemental skill activation. Honestly, general investment in Sara is only incentivized at Constellation 2 or higher. If she's C1 or C0, she's too clunky to play. C6 provides that juicy, electro damage only crit damage buff for maximized electro composition DPS. Now for the 5 stars. I feel like players who are interested in these banners meta-wise are in 3 distinct categories. First, they don't have Raiden Shogun and want at least one. Second, they do have Raiden Shogun, but want to aim for at least Constellation 2. For the most broken, damage increasing constellation in the game at 60% ignore defense. Feel free to check out my Raiden Constellation Showcase video, link in the description for visual comparisons on her strength increase with these constellations. Third, player doesn't have Kokomi, but wants at least one due to how valuable the fundamentals of her kit are to freeze, electrocharge, and a swirl-based taser comps. For all 3 of these cases, these rerun banners are very valuable. Raiden Shogun does indeed have immense value even at Constellation 0, and with Constellation 2, her own damage output skyrockets tremendously, essentially carrying whatever team she's with on her back. With the free, the catch weapon available to literally anyone in the game, as long as you're okay with a decent amount, well, a lot amount of fishing, your investment only really hinges on a 4-piece emblem set. Now surely, grabbing a 4-piece emblem set won't be that difficult. Now I say that, but some of you know some people, definitely not me by the way, who have a hard time getting certain pieces for the emblem set. I bid thee good fortune on your artifact endeavors. Cherry on top though, Raiden's banner does also provide access to both Bennett and Sara, who we previously mentioned, who are part of Raiden Shogun's highest damage nuke composition. The only missing piece with Raiden, Sara, and Bennett is Kazuha for the shred debuff and the elemental damage buff. So if you're aiming for Raiden's rerun banner, know that if you have her guaranteed, could also look to pick up some constellations for her best raw damage increasing supports. Okay, so now what about Kokomi? I might save more of this for a dedicated prep video for Kokomi, but I am going to mention a couple things about her. 1, she's probably one of the prettiest designs a character has seen in Genshin. From animations, to overall character attire, to game setting, and Watatsumi Island. However, when she was first released, she unfortunately took a lot of uncalled for flack. I voiced my opinions that her design was split in an unstoppable way between healing, damage dealing, some of her talents, constellations, but forced a negative crit that made her confusing to invest in based on the way devs built her kit. This also removes her access to the Favonius weapons, which provide supports some of their highest level of utility. However, she has since risen in popularity due to one thing that she can do that no one else consistently comes close to. She does consistent AoE hydro application with healing built in. Her burst with this passive also acts as an instant jellyfish refresh for 30 seconds of uptime, with activating the skill, and at the end of the duration, activating the burst to refresh this 12-second duration, and then afterwards, the cooldown will be off, which means you can activate her jellyfish again. This has extremely high value for compositions in freeze, electrocharge, and swirl taser comps that we mentioned. Mona is the second closest, but still can't compete nearly with Kokomi's uptime. And with only 4 party member slots, both hydro application and healing in one slot becomes insanely valuable, as it opens up space for an Anemo Viridescent Venera user like Kazuha or Sucrose or Venti, along with 2 core DPS units, 2 Electro, 2 Cryo, whatever you need. Constellations for her don't really matter, only if you are a dedicated shrimping fan for her. Now, we do have certain Ayato drip marketed on Genshin Twitter for 2.6. However, with no other details officially confirmed, we don't know what type of design he'll shape up to be. So for now, those that have needed a crucial piece in certain comps, for example, Raiden Shogun plus Kokomi or Ayaka plus Kokomi, she's here for a second shot and people now understand her value. Alright, those are the character banners. Now, quick notes about the weapon banner. Most people who are brave enough to sail into weapon banner territory, I know y'all really want the Engulfing Lightning. For those that don't mind the donut while pulling for an EL, go for it. Otherwise, as much as I'd say there's the catch for FTP players, I know a lot really want this beautiful weapon for Raiden Shogun. I'm not going to stop you. Honestly, this weapon is insane for her and uniquely provides that lacking attack percent that energy recharge weapons can't provide if going the energy recharge electro crit build. My full guide on Raiden Shogun released 5 months ago compares the R180 catch versus R180 Engulfing Lightning, and the damage difference is pretty significant. At R5 for the catch, closes the gap by quite a bit and also provides 12% crit rate to her burst, which should not go unnoticed. So I would say, in all honesty, if you are F2P or budget, really consider how many primos you have and whether you like to dedicate yourself to weapon banner hell. The catch is always going to be there, albeit it's not as strong, but it is free. As for the 4-star weapons on this banner, Favonius Lance, Lion's Roar, and Sacrificial Fragments have been rotated many times, so no new news on them. Favonius is a great support weapon, Lion's Roar on Electro Affliction or Pyro Affliction, Sacrificial Fragments is only really for Sucrose, but then we have these 2 wavy looking weapons, which are burst-based weapons, released with Inazuma, provide more burst damage for the character equipping, the more energy cost everyone in your team has. As an example, the Akumaro at R5, which is one of the weapons on the upcoming weapon banner, provides elemental burst damage bonus by 0.24% of the total energy capacity of the team. For example, if you had 4 Raiden Shoguns, as an example, each of her burst is 90, so that'd be 360, leads you over 80%. The theoretical maximum for this is 90 energy from Raiden Shogun, 90 from Yaimiko, and then 2 level 80 costs. That would give you 340 bursts, which would actually hit this maximum amount. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We have the bow here and the claymore here. Whoever has high energy costs and does big burst damage can use these 2 weapons. Alright, that should be a solid overview of these rerun banners hitting us in under a week. I'll be updating my complete guides on both Raiden Shogun and Kokomi, so look forward to those after 2.5 second half hits. I hope you gamers enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.